Hi, Dr. Ariane from the Movement Paradigm. Today, we're going to talk about how you can improve your ankle mobility. This is always a hot topic, whether you're an athlete, whether you have foot issues, you have knee issues. This is something that is super important to address and understand to be able to know what type of foot you have and what type of ankle mobility exercises are appropriate for you. Ankle mobility restrictions can happen for various reasons. Things such as surgery, things such as scars, foot type. So if you have a pes cavus foot type, i.e. a higher arch foot type, means that you have a higher declination angle. That is going to contribute to a structural limited ankle mobility, which is very important to understand. You could also have a flat foot. So you could have a structural or a functional flat foot. This also will attribute to limited ankle mobility, just as limited ankle mobility will contribute to a flatter foot type. You want to factor in all of these different things because there's different reasons why someone might have an issue, and it might present differently in one person than in other. So we want to respect and appreciate all of these different things, all of the different factors that go into it, because you never want to force the ankle into a position that it simply isn't going. So you want to be very intentional with how you're assessing and looking at the ankle. So if we're doing a general ankle mobility assessment, what you can do this on the floor. You have your knee bent. You can have your bottom knee bent as well. You can also do this on a stool. You want to think about first placing your foot in a neutral position. So to do that, we're going to go all the way inside to the inside of the foot, all the way to the outside of the foot. And then we're going to find a middle, which is where the tripod is. So underneath your first, your little toe, and your heel. When you have even pressure on those contact points from that position, shifting the knee directly over your toe. So ideally, for most people, the midline of the foot is going to be the second toe. So shifting it in front of that second toe. From here, you would take a measurement. So approximately 4 inches over the toe is considered adequate. But again, we want to factor in the foot type because this would not be the case for someone that has a higher arched foot type. Okay, so from here, so approximately 4 inches over the toe, of course, no pain associated with that. And the important piece to remember with all the exercises I'm going to talk about is the neutral foot position. That's super important because if you are limited in ankle mobility, you will likely get that mobility from the ankle. The foot, based on the planes that it's moving, will collapse inward. The knee could collapse inward. So we want to think about really optimizing that stable foot foundation and then either assessing or treating the ankle. So let's get into 6 ways you can improve your ankle mobility. Number 1 is some type of myofascial release. So I really prefer using a ball for this. So you can use, there's rad balls, there's neuro balls from Naboso. There's lots of different tools that you can use for soft tissue releases. You want to be very intentional about your soft tissue release. So if you have a flatter foot type, you can start with working on the outside of the calf here and the back part of the calf. So the peroneal muscles and the lateral gastrocnemius. So you would hold each spot for 20 to 30 seconds and then move to the next spot. So you can do this as a way to think of decreasing about 70 to 75% of the pain in each spot. So you're creating this inhibition, you're quieting things down, you're setting yourself up to hopefully strengthen the foot and connect from the ground up so that you can ultimately improve your mobility. So number 2 is the ankle mobilization. For the ankle mobilization with a band, you're going to place the band right on the talus bone, so right in the front of the ankle. You do want to make sure it's not too high, so it's right on this bone here. The band should be pulling back and down. So you can hook it to a machine. You could, of course, have someone hold it. So you want to feel like there's enough force pulling back and down. And then you can gently bring the knee forward slightly over the toes as far as you can while keeping the foot neutral. So it's really important to prevent the foot from collapsing inward. It's also really important to keep the heel down and then coming back to neutral so you can repeat this for several repetitions. Number 3 is inversion eversion. So here we want to think about finding that tripod of our foot. So underneath the first, the fifth, and the heel. So you're in that neutral foot position. And then we're working in the transverse plane. So we're rotating. So we're going to go all the way in, keeping the knees straight, and then all the way out. So this is called inversion. And this is E version. So rolling all the way in. So both of these are going to help to work on the spiraling pattern of the not just the ankle, but also the foot, which is what's supposed to happen here. So this really contributes to a healthy foot to core movement. Next is some type of isometric dorsiflexion. So we've started to work on mobilizing that. So now what we can do is go into the position of our adequate dorsiflexion. And from there, although it might be really challenging, you want to try to think about bringing your toes towards your shin. So you're lifting into dorsiflexion, even if it feels like they don't really go very far, that's okay. Hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back down. So again, you're going into that range. So going into the range, from that range, I'm going to try to lift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So loading the joint in that range is really powerful. Another option for this is simply using a little bit of weight or resistance. So you can place just a little bit of weight on the knee here and then just guiding it into dorsiflexion. Again, respecting the foot type and what's happening. This is a great way to load that particular pattern. Next up is short foot. So from here, we're going to find that neutral position, staggered stance. So you're going to root the tip of your toe specifically into the ground. You might also root the other digits as well. You can see the natural arch of my foot lifting. So I'm creating that stability, the strong base of my foot, and then relaxing. So you do want to integrate this with your breath. So it'd be breath in while your foot's relaxed and exhale, rooting the digits into the toe. Once again, we're working on that simultaneous ankle mobility and foot stability. And last but not least, we want to work on some elasticity in the ankle. So a great way to do that is mini jumps. You don't actually have to leave the ground, but you can come down, load, and then come up. Down, load, come up. So again, I'll kind of do this from the side. So down. We're loading those tendons, we're loading the elasticity of the movement. So this can be a really powerful way to integrate it. Hopefully this was helpful. As you can see, there are many variations of ankle mobility. The key thing is understanding your foot type, your past injuries, your history, and so on, recognizing that ankle sprains are one of the biggest drivers of limited ankle mobility. So it's very, very common, but this can affect everything in the entire kinetic chain. So this can attribute to hip pain, back pain, foot pain, etc. So this gives you a small taste of how to begin to repattern this. And of course, integrate it into dynamic movements like lunging and jumping and so on. If this was helpful, give it a like, give it a share, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Movement Paradigm, for weekly tips on mindset, nutrition, movement. And make sure to check out our app, the Movement Paradigm app, for lots of programs and really creating a community of people that want to enhance their lives in all ways and make it accessible to you.